Hey everyone, Jody Gray here with Zach and Jody Photography, bringing you the fourth week of managing our business finances. In the very first video, we talked about how to create a budget, and having a budget is the foundation of having good financial plans, whether it be for your business or for your personal income. Then the second two videos, we then talked about how to work with an irregular income. Having an inconsistent income and really big one month and maybe smaller the next month, how do you balance that and how do you get through that and plan ahead for the future? And then now, this final week, we want to talk about what we do with the extra money at the end of the month. It all, first of all, begins with having financial priorities. So at the top of the list should be making sure you're eating, you have shelter, you have clothing, your monthly bills are getting paid for. And then after that, you may be in one group where you have debt to tackle, you may be in another group where you're debt free, or maybe just trying to pay off the house. And then so you have this extra money after the most important things are taken care of. So how do you figure out where that money goes towards? For those of you who are trying to tackle debt and pay that off, we cannot highly recommend any more Financial Peace University by Dave Ramsey. This course, it's a 9-week course, it changed and transformed our lives. So that will give you the best step-by-step plan of action with other people who are going through the exact same thing you are of knocking out debt. However, what we do want to cover today, this applies to those who have extra money at the end of the month to pay off debt and those who just have extra money at the end of the month and aren't sure what to do with it. So we want to walk you through how we keep track of that extra money. And so this is applicable to those who are paying off debt and those who aren't. So how we keep that organized in, of course, Excel. And there's many different ways of doing this. QuickBooks, whatever. I just find this part to be easier in Excel. So we're going to go ahead and take you through that. Alright, so here we are with the Excel sheet that I use to organize all of our extra finances that we have just sitting in this one checking account so we know what is allotted for what. You can use this, you're more than welcome to use this or create your own, make it bigger and better and improved. But this is what I use. So I'm going to run you through it, and then you'll also have access to download this as well if you want to utilize it. So I have this page here, which is empty, and then I have another tab called Examples, so it's filled out, so you can kind of poke around through that and see a little bit more what I've done with it, but I'll just run you through the basics here. So if you have an account already, what you do in this top line right here is you go ahead and fill in what you have already. So say you already have your emergency fund started, so you've got $1,000 there, so go ahead and put that in, and let's say you have $50 set aside for your clothes and hair, and that's all you got. So go ahead and just put it in the beginning balance up here, and this is going to go ahead and total that here in the overall column. It's going to show that there's a total of $1,050 in here, and then it'll sum it up and then add it all the way to the bottom, which you'll see at the very bottom. This is how much you have overall in your account. So what I do is I go into our banking, and I just go off the statement that I have. So it says on January 1st of 2013, I deposited in an extra $3,000, or I'll say extra money at end of the month. Let's say it's $3,000, so I'll put it in the credit line. If it's a debit coming out of my account, then I'd make sure to do minus and then whatever the amount. But it's not a minus, we're actually putting money in. So we've got $3,000 in. So now I go ahead and I take that three grand and I divvy it up in between all of these accounts that we have here. So you can create a formula if you want, and you can say, okay, for every extra money that I'm getting at the end of the month, I want 10% to go into our Christmas fund, 10% to go into our anniversary fund, 10% to go into our personal fund, 25 into this, and it will automatically filter that out for you and do the math for you. So you can look at that, and then you can just put in the amounts what it tells you to put in, or you can go ahead and eyeball it. And I find the best way that we actually save for stuff is having a certain percentage to go off of. So we put in $3 grand, and it says, okay, this much you should put into personal travel, this much you should put here, blah, blah, blah. So these are the categories that we have created that we are personally putting money toward every month. So we have our health fund. That money eventually gets transferred out into our actual HSA health savings account that we have. We have a car upkeep fund for oil changes, repairs. We're always putting in just a little bit of money in there. We have our maintenance fund here, which once a month we go ahead and we transfer over $100 into this fund. So if our air breaks or we need a repair, then we've got that money sitting there. We also like to save up for Christmas. That's kind of fun to have money to spend for Christmas and bless other people with. So that's a fund that we're investing in. Anniversary, personal travel that we may do to see family. Zach especially loves visiting his dad and brothers often. It's really important to him, so that's something that we build into what we're saving for. So we look in this account, see how much we have in the personal travel fund, and then he figures out if he can make a trip or not. And at the bottom, by the way, all of this is totaled up as well, so you'll see the totals for each account. We also put away a little bit of money each month for getting our hair done, for clothes, so we just have it in there. This is our retirement account, and then our mortgage payoff for extra mortgage payments that we're doing, and then here is your emergency fund that you have. We actually have the bulk of our emergency fund in money market, but we keep about 1,000 easily accessible right in this account here. That's just simply a checking account. So you just put the money in as you see it come through on your banking account, and I'll do a negative as well. Let's say we go ahead and spend money at H&M. So we'll do H&M, and so we spent $30. So I put that in the debit column, minus 30, and then I need to make sure to carry that over to whatever account it's coming out of. So I do minus 30. And then what this column here does, the overall column, is it's going to total all the pluses and minuses. So you double click and you see what it's doing. It's totaling all of the stuff that's being entered in here. And then what this line does here, when you double click on it, you can see it's taking the subtotal of whatever was done before, which was, we forgot to put $3,000 in there. It's going to take the $3,000 total, what we did, and add it all together, and then do the math. So actually, let's just really quick, let's say we're going to put 100 here, 100 here, 100 here. Let's do 500 for Christmas, and we'll do lots for anniversary, 700, and we'll do another $50 for hair. Definitely retirement's important, so let's do 500. And you can see as I'm entering in these amounts, it's telling me, okay, so far I've entered in $2,050. So I need to make sure that this right here, this $2,050, matches up with this $3,000 over here. So I know that I have $950 left. We already have our emergency fund built up to what we want. So we'll go ahead and put the extra $950 toward our mortgage. Okay. So you can see that $3,000 total, that $3,000 here, right there, matches the $3,000 there, so we know we entered it in correctly. And this line here, it takes this, adds that to that, and then that's the total that we get. And then so this next transaction here, where we had for $30 that we spent for clothes and hair, that's shown here, minus $30, and then this next column here adds that and gives us our total, which is $4,020. After we've spent that $30 at H&M. So this is the way that we keep track of all the different accounts that we're putting in. I mean, ideally, I guess not ideally, but technically we could have, 7 checking accounts for our health fund, our car fund, our house fund, our emergency, Christmas, like all that stuff. But I think our bank would really kill us, and then that can maybe just be absolutely confusing. So that's why we use this Excel here to see, to kind of keep track of it in a quick glance. So you can scroll at the bottom and all the totals are totaled up here. So our balance for our closed fund is $70 right now. We've got $500 that we need to go ahead and transfer over into and pay our retirement. And we've got $950 that we can go ahead and write a check to and pay for our mortgage. And so here, this little box right here just sums all of this up right here, and it should always match this right here, which is the total of everything that you have in your bank account. So this little guy right here should match what's in your bank account, and it should match what's in here.
So I hope that helps you all. And here's a little doodad that you can take a look at and poke around. And if you guys have any questions or make this even better, then rock it out. But this is how we do it. And it really only takes a few minutes, and it's so great to be able to come here, take a quick look at your finances and see what's going on and see how much money you have to spend or even to bless people. Which is a side note, something that we do for every gig we book. We go ahead and we have agreed upon an amount that we put away that we want to bless people at. So make sure that you're building that into what you do after you've taken care of your family first. So pay off that debt, do good stuff with that, and then once you start bringing in more money, bless people with it.
Thank you all so much for joining us as we have gone through these last 4 weeks with 4 videos talking about finances, and we pray that your lives are blessed and they are touched and they are changed as you continue to be faithful with what you have and make really great decisions, so not only can you bless your family, but you can bless others and bless your children as well. Thanks, and we will see you guys again.